Meeting number 2 to order. Today's meeting is being held with members of council and city staff participating by video conference and in person at City Hall. We're in Committee Room 1, if anyone's listening and wants to join us. City Hall is open to the public and anyone is welcome to attend the meeting today. The public may continue to participate electronically by video conference. The meeting is being live streamed online on YouTube at Toronto City Council Live. There are no registered speakers, so we can skip that part. I'm going to ask for everyone's patience. If we do experience any delays or technical problems during the meeting, we may pause because we do want to make sure that we are publicly streaming and accountable. The City Clerk has provided all the agenda materials on toronto.ca/council, and for councillors, it's on CMP, the Clerk's meeting portal. Clerk's IT staff are available to members if you need any help with your devices. I think everyone is okay. Councillor Mantis and Councillor Robinson haven't logged in yet? Okay. They may already be working on that. When voting on an item or a motion, I ask the members ensure that they keep their video on to raise their hands. We just have two very, very important and positive votes to make today. So you'll be able to indicate your vote by raising your hand. And members, I want to remind you that if you do want to submit a motion, that you do have to submit it by email. Staff are available at ecdc@toronto.ca to help with motions. And now I will make the land acknowledgement before we begin our business. Although we are in different locations and we are meeting remotely today, the committee would like to acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Councillors, if there are any declarations of interest on the agenda under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act, if you do have an interest, please raise your hand now and unmute your mic. Seeing none, we will proceed. May I have a motion to confirm the minutes of our meeting from January 11th? Councillor Moyes? Sorry, I'm giving preferential treatment to the councillor who came in this morning. Councillor Moyes will move the minutes. All in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Thank you. We just have two items, councillor, so I think we can go through them basically. We do have a special presentation on item number 1. Item number 2, so we can free up staff, is simply the annual budgets of all the business improvement areas. Are there any holds or questions concerning item 2? Seeing none, I wonder if councillors want to adopt that item right now so that staff know their destiny. All in favor? Opposed? That is carried. And that leaves us to our favorite item on this agenda, which is a very special presentation. Item number 1 is appointment of the City of Toronto Photo Laureate. And I'm going to make a bit of a presentation. Councillor Thompson will be excited to know that we're blessed this morning by the presence of both the incoming and Michelle is here as well, Councillor Thompson, our outgoing Photo Laureate. So you'll have to wave hello on the screen. Let me proceed. I want to make some formal remarks before the presentation. It's my pleasure today to introduce our incoming Photo Laureate, Nadia Gwandabens, who has been nominated by a panel of experts to be Toronto's next Photo Laureate. Created by City Council in 2016, Toronto's Photo Laureate position is the first position of its kind in Canada. The Photo Laureate champions photography and visual arts in the city and will use their perspective to create a dialogue on our contemporary issues. Nadia is an Anishinaabe photographer living and working in Toronto. In 2008, Nadia founded Redworks Photography, a company focused on contemporary Indigenous lifestyles and cultures through photographic essays, features, and portraits. Councillors, if you have not web searched it yet, I highly recommend it. There's some extraordinary work there. Her work has been exhibited in shows across Canada and the United States, In addition to commissioned work, Nadia delivers empowering photography workshops and presentations for youth, universities, and community groups. In 2018, Nadia won the Ontario Arts Council Indigenous Arts Awards. The jurors stated Nadia is an intrepid, groundbreaking, and influential artist. She has brought an Indigenous voice to portrait photography that recontextualizes images and shows us our true selves. I also want to extend my deepest thanks this morning to Toronto's second photo laureate, Michelle Pearson-Clark, who is also in the committee room and with us here today. Michelle was highly engaged in Toronto's arts community during her term, a difficult one, if I must say, because it led up to 2022. But she gave artist talks at arts institutions across the city. She wrote a monthly column on photography for the Toronto Star, and in addition to producing a popular daily Instagram account. We all love social media, and so whenever people in these roles engage in that, it just enhances the city's reach. So we thank you so much for that, Michelle. Michelle curated a major exhibition of emerging BIPOC artists at Nathan Phillips Square as part of the Doors Open Toronto. She was one of 3 judges of 2020's Scarborough's New View photo contest, and she served on the advisory committee for Artworks TO, Toronto's Year of the Public Art, 2021 through 2022. Many of the installations of which, as we were refreshing earlier this week, are still available, and the site, of course, is still up with the city. Thank you, Michelle, for your dedication as an ambassador for the photographic and visual arts during that time. Join me now in thanking Michelle and welcoming Nadia, who will speak to us about her work. So first, councillors, a round for Michelle for the work she did leading up to this point. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to welcome Nadia to come forward. We have a seat and a microphone for you. We'd love to hear from you. Just bear with us, folks. Ben's setting up the presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here with you all. I'm very honored to be named the next photo laureate for the City of Toronto. It's a great honor. It's a position that I recognize comes with a great responsibility as well, to my fellow artists, to the city, and the artist community as a whole. So I'm looking forward to the next 3 years in promoting our artists within the city. So I want to introduce myself, where I come from. My Anishinaabe name is Makoons, and it translates to Little Bear. I'm Anishinaabe from northwestern Ontario. It's an hour south of Kenora, right on the Trans-Canada Highway. So that's home territory, Treaty 3 territory, and the traditional land of the Anishinaabe people. So I want to start off by introducing my work, and I've been a photographer for 23 years. Wow, it really does fly by. I attended college and university in Thunder Bay. I also worked at CBC Radio in Thunder Bay as well, while attending university. What ended up happening is I up and moved to Arizona, and it was a very adventurous time of life for me. I was exploring myself as an artist and understanding that I was always creative. There's so many facets to my creativity. I used to also be involved in improv theater, and I recognize that all of the different positions that I've held have made me become a better photographer. So recognizing that, and later on in life realizing that all of these opportunities were timely, significant in my development as an artist, and foremost a storyteller. So I take great pride in that. I take great pride in my work, and it's an honor to even just be an artist and to make a livelihood from that. To recognize that this life holds so much beauty, and to be able to share my vision with others figures so prominently in my mind, and I'm as mentioned, it's a great honor to be able to call myself an artist. And so I moved to Arizona, and that's where the passion for the visual art and photography especially, that's where I got my start. My partner at the time encouraged me to start doing portrait work. And I've always been the type to sort of challenge myself. And I recognize that even today in this new position that I'll be taking up, I recognize that, and to be able to develop my skills and my artistry in this new position again is I'm really looking forward to the next 3 years. So what ended up happening is I moved from Arizona. We moved to Colorado, and my work at that point had already been sort of gaining momentum, and I consider it, as mentioned before, holding space for others to share their stories comes as a huge responsibility. And over the years, I feel that the Indigenous community has really opened up and shared so much of their own personal stories, but also in terms of creating a broader awareness of Indigenous issues is, I think, very important. So like I mentioned before, it's holding that space and creating space, a safe environment for my artistry, and that process of sharing stories, I think is it's so important in the work that I do. So by that point, a lot of my work was getting to be quite well known. I moved back to Canada, I believe it was 2007 or 2006. And from there, it just really blossomed. I was traveling, I was a touring photographer for about 15 years. I was, I think it was about 9, 10 months out of the year, I was crisscrossing Canada. I did a few tours through the States as well. I ended up moving to Toronto, here to the city in 2010, I believe. So it was, I was here for a number of years, planted some roots here, built a solid network of friends here that I love and cherish, adore our friendships. And then I ended up being a bit of a drifter again after that. And it wasn't until just before 2020 that I moved back. So I've been here in the city for, I think it's going on 3 years now. So it's good to be back, and I'm looking forward to reaching out and connecting with the community again, and broadening the network and meeting different artists in the city. So I keep saying this, I'm really excited for the next 3 years here. So that's a little bit about my story and how I've come to be an artist here before you today. I became a Canon ambassador. I think it's going on 3 years now as well. So everything just sort of culminated into, all these beautiful opportunities, and I recognize, the significance of these different opportunities that are coming, and I feel like I'm in a really good position to be able to speak to not only Indigenous issues, but to bring forth more dialogue and through the arts, and to use the arts as an exploration in creating and bringing about different narratives. So I'm really excited again, and very honored and humbled as well to be here with you all today. And the work that you see is a culmination of, these are some of the favorite pieces in my portfolio, favorite portraits in the portfolio, and you'll see there's a broad range of subjects, portrait subjects. And my main strength, I think, as a photographer is in portrait work, and being able to approach others and, be able to, hear their stories. And one of the most beautiful things I love about being an artist and a photographer is the simple act of visiting and sitting with people and learning about their lives, and what makes them who they are, what do they love, what does their community look like, what's kinship, that connecting with different people. Just the simple act of visiting is how I approach my work, and it's my artistic practice. So I find that it's very grounding as well when you just sit with someone and learn about who they are. And I've covered several events, marches and rallies is one of the sort of aspects of my work that I love delving into as well, to be able to be present and to highlight and amplify the various different issues, Indigenous matters that do arise. So just being able to capture these significant moments and to be able to learn from them as well, and share that with others, I think becomes foremost in what I do. It's the simple act of visiting, being present, and honoring my gift as a storyteller. So I'm really looking forward to, as mentioned, the next 3 years, and I'm excited to further develop and brainstorm what my legacy project for the city will look like, what it will be, what it'll entail. So I'm just really honored again. Thank you very much for your time.
You are so welcome, and I know councillors have been watching the same show of your work that we've been watching from both at home and here. While we were listening to you, we're also gloriously distracted by this wonderful work. We are very excited and also looking forward to the legacy that you'll leave in the city. I wonder if councillors have any comments, if any of you wanted to make any comments or send any good wishes to our new photo laureate before we ratify. Have any indications from home? Councillor Moyes, did you want to go first?
Yep. Just want to take the opportunity to welcome and congratulate you officially. Representation does matter, and I'm really happy. I was listening to you and watching the presentation online here, looking at some of your work, and it's pretty extraordinary. I love all the colors and everything else, and they're all very expressive and different. Now, as I was looking at it, I was thinking to myself, um, I was thinking to myself, what will you, is your vision for the next 3 years here in the role? But you touched on it a little bit. But I was also thinking to perhaps, what are your thoughts around mentorship to other people, Indigenous people? What would you like to do to perhaps mentor other Indigenous people like yourself? Because you're in the leadership role now and very public. So what would you like to accomplish? Like what would you like to in the next 3 years? What would you like to see yourself do in the role?
I did touch briefly on this. Yes, I think this position comes with opportunities to connect and think about all of the different intersections that happen with different communities and groups and organizations within the city. So I'm looking forward to exploring those intersections and creating again more dialogue around different ways that arts can help advance and promote various issues. So I'm looking forward to being a part of that dialogue as well. And given my life experience and what I've been through as an Indigenous woman, as an Anishinaabe Kwe, I think there's a beautiful dialogue that I and gifts that I can bring to different groups within the city as well. So, like I mentioned before, as well, being present and being in the room, being in different galleries and spaces, and the different artist talks that I do as well, have created a lot of awareness as well. So bringing that to the new role is, I think, something that will that's just intrinsic.
I'm very excited to see what comes next for you in the next 3 years. So keep a close eye. I'm excited. I think your story was amazing. I like the fact that you've traveled, across the U.S. and across Canada, and having different experiences, and all these things contributes to your work, obviously. So, congrats again.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Ainsley is at home, but he would love to make some comments. Councillor Ainsley?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Nadia, I just want to welcome you to the City of Toronto as our official Poet Laureate. I was watching the slide presentation with great interest. I have the second largest Indigenous population in the City of Toronto in my ward, so I know that your work will be well received not only within my ward, but right across the City of Toronto, and I'm really looking forward to working with you. Miigwech.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the presentation.
Thanks, Councillor Ainsley. Councillor Thompson?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and good morning. Good morning, Nadia. And thank you so much for the outstanding photos. And I have no doubt that you will join a stellar group of previous photo laureates and so on, and to add your dimension and space to this important work of capturing and depicting Toronto and the varying folks who live in this great city. I'm particularly fond of this type of work and photographs. My late father-in-law, George S. Zimble, was an American-Canadian documentary photographer who has taught me some amazing things about, how to capture photography and using it to tell stories. And we're looking forward to many great stories from you. And the pictures that you've shown us today, if that's indicative of what we are to see in the future, which I'm sure it will be, we are actually going to be well served by you in this new role. I wish you great success. Miigwech.
Thank you so much. I just noticed that Councillor Mantis, we do almost have every member now. Councillor Mantis checked in. Councillor Mantis, did you have any comments you wanted to make? I saw you turn your camera on.
Good morning, Madam Chair, and to all the panelists. Not at this moment.
Okay, super. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, so Councillor Thompson just alluded to it. What we are voting on today is a 3-year term. Our photo laureate has time to develop these ideas because she's going to be with us, as the recommendation indicates, to the end of 2026. And so there are lots of opportunities. Michelle was gifted with the Year of Public Art, but we're just going to pretend it never ended. And so we hope that we can present as many opportunities to couple with whatever vision that our new photo laureate has for us. So what I'm looking for is who would like to move the staff recommendations? Councillor Thompson, if you'd like to move the recommendations, 2.1, all in favor? Opposed? That is carried unanimously. And so congratulations, it's ratified by this committee, and I'm looking forward to the rest of council and Deputy Mayor McKelvey becoming familiar with your work. The show today was beautiful, of the work that we saw. I'm especially excited to see it and the inspiration you'll give to other visual artists, because while the press speaks of you as a portrait photographer, what I find surprising is while they're all portraits, they all have so much action, either in the face or in what's happening. So it was very exciting to learn today that for you, a big part of the work is the visit and getting to know that person and reflecting all of that, because we certainly saw it in your work. So, and we need that more than ever right now in Toronto. So as we come out of the doldrums and some of the pains of the pandemic, and we all try to come back together, I think you're going to be a big part of helping us do that. Thank you so much. I think the only other thing, we need to adjourn, but I hope Councillor Moyse will stick around, because we have another tradition. Although I don't think we can match her work, we always take a picture when we make an appointment like this. So I'm just going to finish the official business. The Deputy City Manager, Mr. Raftis, probably wants to get to work, because most of the things we changed in the budget last night are all his work to do. So, councillors, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn the meeting. I'm sorry you won't be here for the photograph, but we know you're here in spirit. Motion to adjourn, Councillor Moyse. All in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Thanks, guys.